This is Stare Down the Bull. I'm your host, Susan Hunt. Around here, we tackle the hard stuff: how to lead with clarity, leveraging AI, and turn strategy into real results. My guest today brings a powerful perspective on how to do exactly that. Let's dive in. Hi, and welcome to Stare Down the Bull. I'm Susan Hunt. As we enter the 25th anniversary year of September 11th, I wanted to sit down with my dear friend, Trish Straine. Tricia was widowed on 9/11. Her husband, Jimmy Straine, was a Cantor Fitzgerald bond salesman working on the 105th floor of Tower 1. Just days before the attack, Tricia had given birth to their second child on September 5th, 2001. And only weeks earlier, she had moved on to our block. Life was just beginning a new chapter when the unthinkable happened. In the years that followed, Tricia raised 4 children largely on her own, rebuilding a life while carrying unimaginable loss. Along other 9/11 widows, she became a founding board member of Stephy's Place, an organization that offers free support groups to individuals and families for grief and loss. Today, she's also a realtor with Keller Williams in Spring Lake, New Jersey, continuing to serve others in yet another meaningful way. I don't need to ask Tricia her stare down the bull moment. Her moment is unmistakable and historic. What stands out even more is how she lived since that day with kindness, grace, resilience, and a quiet stoicism that continues to inspire everyone who knows her. This conversation is about loss, survival, friendship, and a long arc of healing. And I'm honored to share Tricia's story with you. Thanks for joining the show, Tricia.
Thanks for having me, Susan.
Oh, my pleasure. So you moved on to our block just weeks before 9/11 and gave birth within a couple of weeks of moving. Right. What do you remember from those first shocking days and of all that change in your life?
Well, I remember being so excited to move into our home on August 1st. It's funny, I had photographs taken of Jimmy, me, and Finn on the beach. I think just to capture our unit before Charlie was born. And I remember looking at the proofs in the hospital room after I had Charlie on September 5th and just really excited for the life that we were going to start. We were thrilled to move on to our block. As you know, Susan, it was filled with all young families. And I think we had something like 8 kids out of 12 homes that were under the age of 2. I remember the neighbors being friendly, but it was the end of the summer also. And so we were just, unpacking and getting ready for our next child. And just really excited for, like you said, this next chapter in our lives. I had the baby September 5th, and Finn had his first day of school, preschool, on September 11th. And my mother came over that morning to stay with Charlie so I could drive Finn to school, and they had asked for the parents to stay. It was just an hour. And on the way there, I heard the news. I thought it was a small plane, and just kind of, brought Finn into the classroom, and then the moms were hanging out outside, and I started getting panicked and trying to call, and, it was awful. I couldn't reach Jimmy. He had called earlier that morning before we left for school to wish Finn a good day, good luck on his first day. In fact, I handed the phone to Finn and told him Superman was on the phone. It was Jimmy. I'm really grateful that we spoke that morning and that we both were clueless about what was about to happen. So, yeah, then I just remember trying to reach him, and, phone lines were busy. I got through to my mother and my sister, but it wasn't good. So someone from the school drove us home, and then it just all started coming in, family coming, neighbors coming, people across town coming, like just everyone running over, asking what they could do, what they could, help. I mean, it was much larger than we all realized, I think, maybe.
Totally.
I mean,
way larger.
Yeah, it was out of a science fiction movie, truly.
Yeah.
And I remember the community coming to really wrap me in a huge blanket. We had just moved to the town. We didn't even know people. Um, we were fortunate enough to have joined a beach club that summer, so I was able to make some friends that whole summer. You know, you're sitting around the baby pool, you're getting to meet
Yeah.
other young moms and dads and things like that. And because I grew up a few towns away, you know, I was familiar with the area, but truly I was like starting out new. And I just remember the town just absolutely embracing us. I mean, our neighborhood, you, Susan, everyone just came to our side. And everyone felt this, you know, even if you didn't know someone personally in the buildings or on the planes, you had a connection because it was, you know, our country that was attacked. So it was the one part of it was beautiful, the way everyone came together and came to help us. And the other side was that my life completely fell apart. I mean, I literally watched my dreams crumble to the ground when I watched the tower fall. I just like was just sick to my stomach holding Charlie watching that. Um,
Who was 6 days old
right.
at the time.
Charlie
So
was 6 days old. I
as
mean,
if it's as if it's not big enough, but doing it post birth with an infant
yeah,
in a new home with a small child.
right.
How old were you guys at the time?
How old was I?
Mhm.
I was 32 and
That
Jimmy was 36. Yeah. And Finn was turning 3 in November. So, um yeah, it just was like my husband died on probably the happiest day of my life. You know, Jimmy was going to work. He was actually taking off at the end of the month so that my parents were going away so that he could stay home with me while they were away. And because my parents lived nearby, so it was really nice to have, you know, that help. My mom was a terrific grandmother. And um I remember the day before speaking to one of my college girlfriends and just saying, I there's nothing more I could possibly want in life. I have everything I want. I have two healthy boys, a loving husband, a man who I love very much. We're in a home that I love. I don't need to move from this place. This is terrific. We are on the most beautiful, idyllic block in such a beautiful town. We've got the beach a couple miles away. We've got a river a half a mile away. I mean, we have a park across the street. I mean, it really was fantastic. And there was nothing more I could want or ask for. And I mean, it really was. Just a cruel, cruel joke almost. Like, haha, you know, you got everything you wanted, and then the rug was pulled out from under all of us. You know, it wasn't just me, my children, my family, Jimmy's family, our friends.
Yeah, we do live in an area that is, there are a lot of Wall Street people that commute from where we live via boat to Wall Street. So one thing I remember about that day was at one point, five or six of the husbands on our small little block were missing. And
Mhm.
one by one, they would come home and they all came home, but Jimmy didn't come home.
Right.
And it was difficult for us because we didn't really know you, but we knew that we needed to reach out to you. And somebody asked me today, what was the first time that you and Trisha met? And do you know, I have no idea.
I
I have
know.
no idea
I
the
don't
first
either.
time. I don't remember us ever meeting.
I don't either. It
But
was,
we've been like best friends for 25 years.
we have,
That is
exactly.
weird. That is
Yeah.
weird.
I remember, you know, just being like at a neighbor's house maybe and meeting. But and you may have stopped by the house and I wasn't even like available or around. I mean, remember I had a newborn, so I was,
Yeah.
having to, like, nurse him and take care of him. It wasn't like I could just pass him off to everybody all the time, although he was passed around quite a lot. I don't think that
Yeah,
kid
we
was
loved him.
I don't think he was put down for a year. But yeah, Susan, I mean, the first year is very, foggy. Certainly the first few months, it's very difficult to remember, details.
How did you how did you find your footing after losing Jimmy in all that chaos? And I mean, how did you find your footing?
Yeah. Um, I just remember thinking that my boys lost their father, they weren't gonna lose their mother, I was not gonna fall apart over this. Um, I wanted to make Jimmy proud, I wanted to honor him, and so I just did the best I could. I relied on his family and my family and friends a lot. Um, I'm really, really good at surrounding myself with amazing quality people,
You are. You're actually really good at that.
and
That's
so
true.
it is a key
Because
to me.
you are a quality person. That's
Thank you.
why people
Thanks.
are those same people are attracted to you too.
Thank you. But right, I mean, that is absolutely one of the keys to why we didn't fall apart. Um, yeah, and I was young, I just was like, "This isn't going to be it for me." Um, my aunt had been widowed when she was around 40, and I had a brother-in-law also whose father died when he was young, and, I did not want to become a lonely woman, you know, raising my children and
Yeah.
living out the rest of my life. I realized that I still had a long life ahead of me, and I wanted to be a participant of that, and I wanted to provide the best for my sons. Um, so yeah,
And you
and
did. Incredible.
I hope so.
Actually, it's been very people often ask me how she has held it together the way that she has, and I honestly have no idea except for it's just in your DNA and it's your character and it's the way that you wanted to live your life. And I give you a lot of credit for it because I don't know that everybody is handling that whole situation in their life, in the same sort of
Mhm.
stoic manner. I think that I probably wouldn't have. I probably would have been very angry about it. Very,
Yeah.
very, very angry about it all the time.
Yeah.
So,
Prayer and exercise. Um,
yeah.
really like prayer and exercise every day. I also honestly, I I always remember, like, Sophie's Choice, and I would just say, like, people actually have it worse than what we have. Um,
I have actually heard you say that
yeah,
people have had it worse that were widows of 9/11 than you guys. And
yeah,
I'm sure that's true, but it seems unbelievable to be true
yeah,
because I mean, literally, you had a baby 6 days before
mhm,
Jimmy died. And the fact that you are now my daughters are now the age you were when this happened. I
yeah,
mean, literally, I don't think either one of them could even come close to handling that. I don't even know how the heck you did that at that age. When we were that age, it seemed impressive, but doable. Now looking at it through the lens of a mother of women this age, I'm just like,
mhm.
I don't even know how it would be possible to
But
survive it.
remember, it was a national event, and it was huge in our community, right? I mean, we had so many
True.
hundreds of people in our area
Yes.
who were killed,
Yes.
and so you really had a huge community support, you know?
Yes.
So, I mean, if you needed something done, someone was there to
Somebody would
help you.
do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that included, friends and family and outside organizations that were there for us.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was a pretty incredible time in this country, I have to say.
Mhm.
So what do you think can you describe the difference between the person that you were then and the person that you are now? And I know that's like a really hard question for anybody because we're talking about a 25-year span. We all change a
Yeah.
lot in a 25-year
Yeah.
period, but your historic experience, and it is history. It is a historic experience
Mhm.
that happened to you and your family. Um,
Well, I think before I was just naive, I led it I said I led a charmed life, I did. I led a charmed life. I had fabulous family, great college experience, excellent work, environment with friends, and then I married this fantastic guy, who just, loved his family so much and loved us so much, and, I as I said to the special master, Ken Feinberg, I didn't even realize how easy I had it being married to Jimmy. We had such a really, really wonderful marriage. He was my best friend, and we just really, had a terrific partnership. So, but I was naive because I hadn't really gone through any major hardships. Um, and now I have gone through a lot. And I just know that I can count on myself to get through
yeah.
it, to problem solve. I know that I can reach out to friends. I know I can reach out to family. I rely on my faith. And yeah, in fact, my faith grew a lot stronger, um, in these past 25 years. And so, yeah, now I know, give it to me and I'll figure it out.
Yeah, there is a certain amount of power that comes from facing the worst at an earlier age, knowing that you can survive really the unthinkable and carry on.
Right. So I remember like when the kids were young and I was visiting a friend and I backed the car into like a tree on the side of her driveway. And I was, it wasn't bad, but I mean, there was some damage. And my friends were all so upset about it. And oh my gosh. And, what, their husbands would be upset with them. And one, I didn't have a husband to be upset with me. And two, it was like, I wish all my problems were as simple as fixing, the rear
A car.
light of a
Yeah.
car. Yeah. That's fixable. That's, bring it to the shop. It's done.
Yeah.
So it puts things into perspective about what's really
Yeah.
important and what is truly difficult. And, you know, suffering is not always a bad thing.
No, we talked last night and, I think I said to you sometimes when you lose, you win in certain other ways.
Right.
Not that you won
No.
anything from this experience, but you certainly have become an incredibly strong person, but smart enough to know when you need help anyway. So that's
Right.
kind of the best of both
Yeah,
worlds.
that's true.
So
And
you
my
did,
boys.
go ahead.
Well,
And
just
your
my
boys.
boys too. I mean, they have, this is character building going through life without your dad.
Yeah, I was just going to bring up the fact that you basically have raised 4 children on your own.
Hmm.
Um, what's the proudest part of doing that, and what was the hardest part of doing that? Because you did remarry
Right. Yep.
and had 2 more children
Right.
after that.
Yep. And then got divorced.
Yes.
Yes. Um, the proudest is just honestly, being with my children together, and we're sitting around the table and we're eating and we're laughing and telling stories, and just, they all get along, they support one another, and they're all doing well, which is,
Yeah.
it's, you know, they're all doing well, and they all have a lot of friends and they're healthy, and that's important. um, they can talk to their friends too. That's the thing. They've really all forged some really fantastic friendships. So that's like my proudest moment, just that my kids are, healthy and get along and can laugh.
And they're literally wonderful kids. I mean, they are literally pleasant and cool to be around and fun and polite and all the things,
Yeah,
So,
I really enjoy being around them, and yeah, I'm glad you feel the same way.
Yeah, no, they're awesome. So, how have the challenges you face shaped the person you are today, do you think? And we may have already covered this, but
Well, I hate the line like that that doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but there is a grain of truth to that, you know?
yeah.
I mean, there were moments where I just couldn't believe what was going on. Um, but you
I've
find
known you for 25 years, and I still can't believe that it went on. I still can't
yeah,
comprehend it. It's
you know,
just way too big.
you find healthy coping skills, right? And tools.
Yep.
And honestly, it really is just about being a solid mother for my children, that they can count on me, that they can be proud of me and respect me. So that's my number one priority and goal. Do I care what other people think? I mean, slightly, but when it comes down to it, not really. I know what I'm doing is um, the right thing, and I think my children are kind of proof of that.
Yeah, they are. You also went on to be the co-founder of Steffi's Place, which is a place that helps others through grief. Um, what sparked that mission? I mean, that was you and a couple of other 9/11 widows, and I get the idea that we might be able to do something to reach out so that people don't have to feel as alone as we are. But was there more to that, or was that just it?
Well, after September 11th, I attended a support group on Tuesday mornings, and we called it the New Life Support Group. We held it at a church, a local church, and a group of widows and mothers, some siblings, got together. We had a spiritual director, we had a priest with us, and we met religiously every Tuesday. It was a way to get us through the weekend. We knew we could get through the weekend to get to our group on Tuesday. We got dressed, in normal street clothes, and we'd have our meeting, and then that would get us through the rest of the week. And then again, you'd get through the weekend because you knew on Tuesday you were going to meet with everyone. And we met for a good solid 3 years. I mean, the friendships that have developed from that still remain strong. And we all saw the benefit of that. So, my friend Sheila Martello, whose husband Jimmy was killed on September 11th, he also worked at Cantor Fitzgerald. She had 2 sons at the time as well. And she had just moved down to our area. Same thing, like in August, the month before, like me. And she had always wanted to start a support group center to give back the way what we had received. And so one of the women in our original support group, Elaine, her son Swede was killed on September 11th, and Elaine had a building in Red Bank, and she offered us space. So we had 2 rooms, one like a little kind of welcome room, and one was a meeting room. And we opened our doors in September of 2015. So we just celebrated our 10-year anniversary, and we had
Congratulations.
one group, maybe 2. Um, our friend Kevin gave a talk at the Knights of Columbus in August, and it was about the roller coaster of grief. And I think we had something like 35 people say they would come, and we had hundreds show up. So we realized the real importance of a center like this. So we started out with 1 or 2 groups. I was a co-facilitator in one of the groups for loss of spouse, and then it has just grown over the years. We offer free. We have something like 50 groups a week. We're there.
Wow. I didn't know
Yeah,
it was that many.
yeah,
That's amazing.
we're there.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Um, we have waiting lists. Unfortunately, we offer groups: loss of spouse, loss of parent, loss of child, loss due to addiction, loss due to suicide, loss of parent. I don't know if I said that.
Hmm.
Um, and it has just grown exponentially. One thing we want to do is take the stigma out of grief. Um, Everyone will experience grief. Steffi's place gives you a place to mourn. It gives you a place to grieve in community. And so we know that grieving in community is healing. And you're not alone. I mean, that's truly it. You're not alone in your journey with grief. And although everyone's grief is unique, you still have some common elements within your group. And so we say, you're not crazy, you're grieving.
Yeah.
Um, People have similar stories or similar things that have happened. And then it gets to, you know, certain situations. It's just really special. And I feel incredibly fortunate to be one of the founding board members. It was really Sheila's baby, and she asked us to join her when opening it up, and we all jumped at it. And now I mean, we have 5 meeting rooms. We have a small welcome room. We have a conference. Sheila has a conference room. We have Sheila's got an office. I mean, it just keeps growing. It's huge.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. That's like really good works because grieving is it's just super unpredictable, you know? I know you know that I lost my brother, you were there for me, that was a sudden thing that happened that was
Right.
out of the blue and unexpected,
Yep.
and, I remember the waves of grief just coming over me at the weirdest times and feeling like people that weren't grieving didn't understand or hadn't experienced this kind of loss and were judgmental. And, I remember that very clearly. And I had you and a couple of other good friends just kind of pull me through that. And it made a world of difference. It really did. Just having people that really understood what that kind of grief was about was really, really helpful. So amazing work you ladies are doing, and
Thank you.
congratulations on all of
Thank you.
that.
Yeah.
Maybe some gentlemen. I don't know if there's any men involved in that.
Yes, there are some men involved, absolutely. And, it's free. And so we really rely just on donations. And we have
Yeah.
been fortunate enough to receive some really wonderful, generous donations.
So we'll make sure that there's a place down at the bottom of this broadcast that
Yep.
allows people to donate to Steffi's place too.
Yeah,
So
that would
you
be
can keep
terrific.
that work going on.
Yep.
And now you've also moved into becoming a realtor at Keller Williams in Spring
Right.
Lake, New Jersey.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank
I
you very
love
much.
that.
Yes.
I love that. You wanna tell us a little
Mhm.
bit about that?
Sure. I started in February. Um, we are the number one office in Monmouth and Ocean County with over $2 billion in sales. Our training is excellent. The people that work there are. So that's really, I came into like a really terrific community there and team. So I'm really happy to be with them. I have always loved real estate. I've owned different pieces of real estate in the past. And the most kind of rewarding part of it is really having someone start a new life in a new home, right? And build memories and build equity and have
Yeah.
a roof over their heads. This is really adult stuff.
Yeah.
Or as you know, with this generation approaching, um, I mean, they're buying second and third homes. There's just so much out there. It's great.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'm glad that you love that.
Thanks.
So people often describe you as calm, kind, and strong. Where do you think that remarkable inner strength comes from? I've been trying to figure this out for a really long time. Like,
I don't know. The Holy Spirit.
okay.
Really.
Yeah, again, because I would be so angry about everything that would be going on. I find that like really the most miraculous thing about you. And it's not just me that finds that which
Mm,
does not mean that you are not a pushover. Like if somebody
right.
pushes your buttons, you let them know.
Right.
But in general, you have this calm, kind way about you that I think is just really special, really special.
Thank you. I mean, my friends and I joke around. Are you really a type A masquerading as a type B?
I think you are.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll see what the real estate brings out in you. It's easy
Yeah.
to be a type B at Steffi's place, but when it comes
Yes.
to competitive selling, we'll see. So we'll see what happens here.
Yeah.
We'll see if the shark comes out or not.
Right. Right. Well, I'll tell you one thing though, Suze. My dad's mom died when he was 5. Um, and
Oh, I
that
didn't know that.
yeah, so
That's
that
young.
just kind of right, when Jimmy died, it was like, "Oh, wow. This is kind of a little bit of history repeating itself in, having such young children and a parent dying." And, my dad turned out to be a really terrific guy. His cousins were a huge part of his life, especially when the mom dies, right?
Yeah,
So, the cousins, the other aunts and uncles really came around. And I don't know, I guess part of maybe that was a little bit of inspiration too, like you can be
for
okay.
sure.
You can have like a horrible thing happen to you and still be okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Finn is a living example, living, breathing example of that. Your oldest son is incredible.
Yeah,
So,
he
and
is.
he was in it. He was in it. So just looking back, what lessons from your journey do you hope to inspire others?
Um, Trust your gut.
Okay.
You can count on yourself. It's okay to reach out to other people for help and you will pay it forward. Absolutely.
All good messages for
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So if you had the chance to tell your
Mm.
pre 9/11 self something, and this is a big question, I know.
Hmm.
What do you think that might be?
Um, Take this week off, Jimmy.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Stay home.
definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a perfect way to end
Mm.
this broadcast. So thank you so much for being on the show and sharing your experience, Trish.
Well,
It's
Susan,
really good to have you on and to have you as a lifelong friend.
absolutely. Anything for you. I mean, I got through
Thank
this
you.
with your support always, and you having tea with all of my children.
Yeah, I loved that. We're gonna have to figure out how we met at some point. It was a really weird question that got thrown at me today, and I didn't have an answer, and I thought that was really weird that I didn't have an answer. So we'll have to talk through that over lunch one day.
Yes, I would love it.
Okay. Thanks again.
Okay, you're very welcome.
Thank you for listening to Stare Down the Bowl. If today's conversation sparked new ideas, share it with a colleague and keep the momentum going. The future belongs to leaders who act, so subscribe and join us again next week.